What is going on, guys? Welcome back here to another installment of Honest and Uneducated, the show where we talk about anything from movies or movie news, video games, comic books, collectibles, all sorts of fun stuff like that. We got some pretty good stuff to talk about today. We're gonna get into it all in just a minute here. We got the new trailer that I think dropped way too much information in it from Shang-Chi. A really good Suicide Squad trailer, though. I thought that was really good. Didn't drop too much information at all. And then Fast 9's kind of blowing up the box office. Not surprisingly, but given the movie's like pretty garbage from what I hear, some pretty garbo, kind of surprising to that degree, but bodes well for Black Widow. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. Joining me today is none other than Rick Metz himself. How you doing today, Rick?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad, man. It's not too bad.
The whole thing with the Fast 9 thing, like, yeah, of course it's gonna do good, but it's a Fast 9 movie. How good can it
Well, yeah, like I know it would do good box office wise,
be?
but
Well,
I've
yeah,
also
it's
heard
like
like don't know, everybody's like thinks the movie's really bad.
I think
It's
all of them are pretty bad.
I liked 4, 5, or I liked 5.
I
I
like
liked
Tokyo
5,
Drift.
and I think I watched 6 and 7. I can't even remember. I know I never watched 8 or not or 8. I definitely
It's
haven't
basically
watched
one
9.
long movie. I mean, it's just like, I scene are they gonna get into now? And
Yeah, I mean, I
oh, they're
think
going to space now. Like,
Fast 5 and 6 were good. I don't remember if I haven't watched 7. I
yeah,
think I did, but I
I
don't
lost it
remember.
after Tokyo Drift.
I've never been like I don't know, hard up into them to actually, like, watch 'em, like, I don't even know if I've watched 7 or 8 at this point, so I don't even remember.
Right.
But, we heard him here briefly there just to give a little chuckle. We got John Knight here too. How you doing today, John?
Good, good. I'm glad to be back. I missed a week there. I can't remember. Oh, we had Father's Day going on last week, and so yeah, missed a week, but I'm glad to be back. And I think I've seen all. I'm pretty sure I've seen all the Fast and Furious movies, and they're good 2 hours of stupid fun. If you want, for me, shut my brain off. So yeah.
You gotta shut your brain off. If you keep your brain on during it, then
That's a
you'll
good way to
hate
put
it.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I just heard that, like, you know the term, like, "jump the shark." Like, like, I feel this one, they jumped the shark and then some, supposedly. Like, you know what I mean? Just
Hmm.
like they always teeter the line of, like, ridiculousness just enough, but now they went, like
Full on
yeah, they
ridiculousness.
just went full ridiculousness, like Rob Dyrdek shit, and then that's where they are, and everybody from what I've understood, at least anybody like some things people that I normally like watch and like care about their opinions at all, they don't like it. So it's
Yeah.
we'll see. I at this point I want to watch it just to I don't know, just morbid curiosity at this point. So I don't know. We shall see. I don't know. We'll talk about it more in depth here about at least how it's doing in just a moment. But do not forget, guys, you can submit topics and questions or questions and topics. I forget how I normally say it. I feel like I haven't done this in forever, even though we just did it last week. But you can submit topics and questions to us for us to address on the show, rather, just by emailing us here at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. Other than that, usually our collectible reviews go up every Wednesday. I was not able to get a new one up this past Wednesday because
Usually.
I started a new 9 to 5, and it was my first week here, so I've been pretty busy. Wasn't able to stream this week, wasn't able to get a new collectible review in, but we should be good to get back on schedule this following week. So look out for another collectible review. The last one I did was a deluxe version of Jin or so. That review is up on the channel now. So go and check that out. But lastly, usually again, we stream every Friday. Again, we could not do it this past Friday, but usually every Friday we stream. So normally between like 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be on there talking whatever movies, movie news, collectibles, playing some games, whatever it may be. Come hang out with us then. But yes, nevertheless, let's get into our first topic. And our first topic is Fast and Furious 9. Its opening weekend here has broken. I feel like we're going to be saying this a lot as theaters continue to open and like bigger movies continue to come out. But it is now another movie has broken the pandemic record here, and it's Fast 9 with a modest, I guess, for, like, opening weekends in, like, normal circumstances go, but it's a $68 million debut, which is another new pandemic high. So, we have that. like I kinda said off the top, I expected it to have a big opening because all of the Fast and the Furious movies, I mean, they're it's a billion-dollar franchise at this point. They're kind of expected to make this much money. Even the spin-off movie Hobbs& and Shaw made about 800 and almost $900 million, if I'm not mistaken. So,
It's
the
not no small chunk of change.
yeah, I mean, the Fast and Furious name brings, it's a big franchise. It's a big popcorn, dumb fun movie. So this is not surprising by any means. The real question is, at least for me, is will this thing have any legs given the lack of enthusiasm from the audience? Like, will it have good word of mouth? Will people actually go out and continue seeing the movie? That remains to be seen. It's like I said, I haven't really heard too many good things about it. So I'm curious here. John is someone who is like, I don't know, respectably, you say you've watched all of them at the very least. Do you think this thing is going to have any legs? Or do you think this thing is gonna be a $500 million movie? You think it's gonna be the biggest movie in the pandemic so far, or do you think Black Widow is gonna take that cake?
Well, it will definitely. I will. If I was a betting man, I'd put plenty of money down on it being the biggest pandemic movie so far. I personally think the Black Widow will beat it, but Black Widow also has another 2 to 3 weeks before it releases. So, I think Fast and Furious might have a decent run at the box office. Obviously, there's multiple factors at play that give it that possibility. The first is there isn't a lot of other movies coming out. I mean, there are other movies coming out, but not like you would typically see during a normal summer, during a summer that wasn't following a gigantic pandemic. So it's not going to have the competition for screens. I mean, like you can still in my area, you can still see Kong versus Godzilla on some screens. Like it's just there's just not a lot of other films coming out that's going to push it off of screen. So when people are thinking about going to the theater, that's going to be an option for them. So I think it's going to have some legs with that regard. I also think it's going to have some legs with in regards to there are going to be some people that didn't want to go see it opening weekend because of the crowds. They were still, a little gun shy about the pandemic and whether or not who's vaccinated, who's not, whether or not they've had their vaccine, this, that, and the other thing. So there are going to be some people I think that still want to go see it in the theater, but are going to play it on the safe side and give it some time for the crowds to die down. I don't think word of mouth really hurts this type of film too much. I don't think nobody's ever talked about the Oscar contention for any of the previous 8 films in this series, so I don't think people are necessarily looking for some high bar for them to clear. So even if people don't love it, I think people will still. Does it have big action set pieces? It does. Okay. Does it have like Vin Diesel being Vin Diesel? It does. Okay. Well, I'll go see it. So that's kind of I don't think that it'll be a $500 million movie. I don't think it'll be $500 million just because I still think we're still dealing with the pandemic effects and theaters getting used to going back to the theaters but I could see it making. I mean, it's going to hit 70 after this weekend, so given some legs, maybe it hits 200 million, maybe 225 if it really goes deep into the summer. But that's kind of that that's kind of where I think it'll end up.
Well, you made a good point there, which is really there's not a lot of stuff out there right now, and then like Godzilla versus Kong still being available in theaters, so it could, just by virtue of being in the theaters for a much longer period of time than normal, that might help it. But I
Yeah,
do agree. I think what this really does is really bode well for Black Widow more so than anything to be the bigger movie at this
sure.
point, because we talked about it a couple weeks ago, like which one would be what movie would be the first $100 million opening weekend movie. And I think we both said Black Widow, but
Yeah, I think we said Fast. We both said Fast 9 has a chance, but we thought that the more likely was Black Widow.
yeah, and I think seeing that this was able with the poor reviews being in the stratosphere prior to opening weekend, because the review embargo was lifted prior to this coming out, and it was still able to get 70 million. I think that bodes well for Black Widow more so than
Well,
anything.
if you look at the box office return for this too, it was 7 million Thursday previews, I believe. And then, but that gets grouped in with Friday. So Friday was 30 million. Today was like 22, and they're anticipating whatever the remainder is for tomorrow. I mean, it could, they could also just be misevaluating people's interest. It could do gangbusters tomorrow and end up with closer to an $80 million opening. This post-pandemic evaluations might need some adjustment as we go forward. So who knows? But I think that it was very front loaded in terms of this weekend, with it making 30 on Friday, just because of people's anticipation for it, the diehard fans more or less. And now it's like, now you're down to like, will it get the casual fans to come in?
Right. So, Rick, you're the least Fast and Furious fan here, the biggest Debbie Downer of the franchise. What are you thinking about? Hearing it making this much money, and do you think it's going to be big? You think it's going to be
Yeah, yeah,
huge?
no, I think it'll be huge. Despite how I view it and what my thoughts are on it and all that, it's such a popular franchise.
Look Vin Diesel in the eye and talk shit about it.
Dude, I already was. I haven't pulled up on the monitor, and I was just like, man, you give me this weird look. Like, stop looking at me like that. But no, I'm sure it'll do great. And like you said, I mean, it's only Saturday, so in theory, they could have a huge day tomorrow, and it could be a gangbuster opening weekend, like you said. So, despite my views on it, I think it's gonna do well.
That is the thing. Like, it's already at about 70 mil. So there's a solid chance this thing can make another 30.
People go
I mean,
out on
Saturday's not
Sundays.
over yet.
That no, I mean, like, are they taking into account all the showings tonight? Like,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're not. Like, what I mean? They never know.
Saturday's a big
They
movie
have
night.
pre-sales they can generate some information off of, like pre-sale tickets and everything, but not everything. Some people still walk in and buy tickets there. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah,
don't know. So that all they would have any information to judge on are pre-sales for the remainder of Saturday and Sunday. And yes, people, if you're watching the show, like this is being filmed on a Saturday, so that's why. Like, because the
yeah.
show's gonna come
I
out
didn't want to let the
Monday, so
secret
like,
out.
yeah, like we don't know yet. This is still projections are showing. Was it projections showing 68, or is that where it's at
I
right
think
now?
that's where it's at.
No, the
That's
The
projection is
projection.
68.
yeah.
It
Okay.
was 30 Friday, 20 22 today is the ended projection. Like midday today, they were projecting 22
Mhm.
today. And then so that gets you to 52, and so that would be 16 they're predicting for tomorrow.
Right. So you never know. Like I said, everything. The real basis of that kind of projection is a lot of pre-sale tickets, and then and I don't know how they get all their analytics in through it. So, but like I said, there are still plenty of people who make last minute decisions. There could be a lot of people that make last minute decisions. Given this a pandemic, people aren't really keeping an eye on movies when they come out. Like I didn't even realize it was coming out this weekend. I haven't been paying attention. You know what I mean? So I think it's definitely possible. Being at a $70 million projection, there's a chance where it's a slim chance it could get to anywhere near 100. I think John's estimation of it, like, it could be an $80 million opening. Like it could be. That's a pretty good estimation in my opinion. So we'll just have to see in the end. I think this just mainly bodes well for Black Widow because this movie, like I said, it's had some poor reception, coming ahead of, the reviews coming out ahead of the movie, so I think that maybe you've heard it a little bit, but, like John said, this is more of a review immune kind of franchise, like, it doesn't matter how shitty the movie is reviewed or even how shitty the movie is in general, people normally they keep seeing these movies, like because I kind of agree with Rick at some point, like, Tokyo Drift was god awful. It was god awful. But I don't think that one made a lot of money. And come Fast 5, that they really just, like, leaned into, kind of the ridiculous nature of everything, and, like, I thought Fast 5 was great. It was good fun. So, I don't know. The question is, guys, have you seen Fast 9? Are you going to see Fast 9? And do you think this thing has the potential to be like the first? So I don't think Godzilla versus Kong made it up to 500 million. I think it was close to 500 million, but I don't think it made it. So do you think this will be the first $500 million COVID pandemic level movie? Let us know what you think down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our next topic here is going to be a quick one. We got some a nice picture of some good costumes. I got some good. I'm thinking some good Hot Toys figures, maybe. Here we got our first picture of the new Shazam costume, the Shazam family. I guess technically speaking. We had a first little preview of Zach Levi and his outfit here, but they decided to drop a full picture high res. I think this was a smart decision on like Warner Brothers and DC, or just maybe David Sandberg's part, maybe just to get ahead of everything. Because if you remember back when Shazam 1 was still in production, there was a bunch of leaked photos of uh, Zach Levi on set in the suit, and everyone kind of gave it a lot of shit, really, because it looked like super padded and just like it looked kind of fake muscle suity looking. But the same thing happened with this. They had some pictures of him on set, but then they decided to just drop a picture of everybody. And I think it was a smart decision. Instead of having all these shitty low res set photos, non-sanctioned ones, like out there on the internet for people just to kind of talk shit about, in all honesty. You just drop a high res one so everybody can see it and kind of shut up about it. And I think personally that these suits look really good. I think it's a big step up in my opinion, because it's like I kind of said, the first suit where I liked the first suit and all the first suits, I thought they were fine, but they did look kind of fake, too fake muscly to me for me. They were very obviously padded suits. Whereas this one,
Doesn't have so much of that look.
it doesn't. It has more of an like armored kind of look and more like armored padded. It's like you can tell it's still like, fake muscles, but it's more of like it looks more armory than it does padded
Well,
suit.
Zach Levi, I think, even admitted he was like, "There's no way I got that ripped the first movie."
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
Like,
he was huge looking.
and like I don't know, I think they look good. I think these would be some good hot toys. They honestly, the material of them is very reminiscent to, I know it's not the same, so don't get on me about it, but it's very reminiscent of the same kind of material as like Henry Cavill Superman suit. What it kind of reminds me of.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I think it looks good though.
yeah.
Like, John, what do you think about these new suits?
Um, yeah, I like him. I'm a little what? So what's going on Zachary Levi's suit there? I saw these in the paparazzi photo, for lack of a better way to put it. Um, right on his upper thigh, there's like a metal. It looks like a
Mhm.
staple or something, and then there's one up by his
On the arm
under
and then
his
on his
chest on the
rib, yeah.
yeah. What are those? Just accent pieces? I'm a little confused as to what's going on, because the guy in the black too. I forget which character that is. Has him on him as well. Yeah, and I was trying to see if I could spot him on any of the other
Adrian
actors.
Brody suit has them only on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rib. Only on the rib though.
Captain Marvel Jr.
Adrian
has it.
Brody.
Okay.
And then the green one doesn't though. He only has one on the
Yeah,
rib,
he
but
looks like
not
he
and the
might have one
legs.
under his hand
He
and his
does, yeah.
legs. Yeah. So
But
I'm
Zach
not really
Levi has
sure.
them on the arm.
That's not
I'm not
Adrian
sure.
Brody.
Yeah, it is.
Adrian Brody's the guy from The Pianist.
Oh, it's no,
Adam
okay.
Brody.
Adam
Adam
Brody.
That's what I was gonna say. I was just like,
Brody.
wait a minute. Sorry.
Dude, it's literally a first name
Brody.
Brody. It's A Brody, okay? It's A
He's that
Brody
guy
in
from
general.
that one. Yeah,
The OC.
I was gonna say that California show.
Yeah, whatever. Adrian Brody's a better actor.
Yeah.
They would be behooved to have Adrian Brody join this family, okay?
Behooved. Yeah, I just had to throw that in.
Is
No,
Adrian Brody
thank
still alive? I haven't seen anything from him in years. I haven't
He
heard his
is.
name in years.
He was I swear he was just in something. I forget what the hell it was, but he
Welcome to
hasn't been in.
welcome to the tangent portion of the show, where we
Yeah.
go off on some weird tangent that was unintentional.
I gotta look up what Adrian Brody's got coming out now, 'cause
I
I
know.
like
I'm
Adrian
curious.
Brody.
So anyway, these little metal pieces on there, I wasn't sure if those were like, because when I saw it initially in the paparazzi photo, the leak photos, I thought, okay, so that's some sort of just marking for effects or something that they put on there. But then to see them replicated on the actual costumes from the official photo makes me wonder if there isn't
think they're
something
just-
else going on there.
I just think they're accent.
You think they're
pieces.
just accents? Okay.
Because there's little
Yeah.
things
they-
like with the stitching and stuff where it changes, kind of like right where all those are. If you look like on the guy just to
Yeah.
the left of him,
Yeah.
kind of like on his ab area, I think it's just part of the look.
It is. I don't think it's necessary though, in all honesty.
No, I don't think it is either. It just gives a little more like technicality to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think it's a little
Yeah.
inconsistent because like everyone has it on the legs and ribs, aside from the gals, or no, even she does too. She has it on the ribs, like on the under part of the, where the bottom part of her ribs. So everyone has them on the obliques, okay? But then, like, only Zach Levi has them on the arms, and then all the men have them on the legs, but Ms. Marvel doesn't have them at all.
I
Yeah.
think it's just purely design.
No, it 100% is, but they're it's just the inconsistency is, like, it's kind of odd.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'd think everybody would have them, but then everybody doesn't have them. Anybody listening to the podcast just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Right.
I know. It's not that important though, so don't worry about it. Do you think he's got the hood? Did he have the hood in the first one and just
Yeah.
never wore it? He did?
I think he had the hood up at least once.
Did he?
Maybe not. Maybe I'm misremembering.
I
Yeah,
thought he
I
had the
thought
hood,
he
but
did.
never wore it. I don't remember
Mm.
though.
I don't remember a hood.
I thought he like did he go when he came to Billy's window and was or not Billy when he came to who's the character with the crutches that he's when he comes to his window he's like it's me Billy.
Yeah, I know what you're
I
saying.
thought he had the hood up because he was like kind of trying to go incognito while he was
In a
walking
big
around,
red
but maybe
suit.
not.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch it. It being my, like, probably my second favorite DCEU movie, I only watched it twice, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I ever watched it a third time, but I don't know.
The capes look good.
The capes look good. Yeah, it's interesting to see that they're actually, I mean, they did use practical capes in this movie, but, like, Superman, like, man Henry Cavill, like, 98% of the time had a CGI cape, never had a real cape. And that's why people with, like, this was kind of what I was gonna get in at too when I was talking about I thought it was a good idea that they just went ahead and released this. Because they're not doing that with Supergirl on the set of The Flash, and, like, everybody's out there, like, kinda just, like, A, confused as to whether or not she's wearing gonna have a cape or not, and B, kind of not really, like, thrilled with how it looked on these set photos, but it's like you just release a high-res picture of it and then just make people shut up, you know what I mean? Like, just do it. Like, it's I don't know, it just makes more sense to me, like, why not? Just get ahead of it. I mean, you got all these set photos coming out because I remember Barbara Muschietti said something, I think, on social media, just like, urging press or whoever to like not take, like, stop taking pictures and like don't like judge the pictures because they're not done kind of thing and
Yeah,
like they're
good
gonna
luck with
look
that.
different. Like, and it's like, well, just release one that's complete. So you know what I mean? The set photos aren't gonna stop. So like just
No, nobody's gonna stop.
yeah, no one's gonna stop, so get ahead of it and just release one and just call it a day. It's already out there. You're not hiding anything at this point, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, anybody that tries to release a picture of any of the other Shazam cast members is everybody's gonna be like, "So what? We've already seen the official photo, like, so
Right.
what?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is to get ahead of it. If these were to come out as hot toys, would you be buying them, John? If the movie's
Probably.
good?
Probably. No, I mean, I'm just like that you're committing to what? Five hot toy figure 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 5 hot toy figures at least 250 a pop. So you're well over $1,000 at that point. I'd like to say I'd have a little more restraint than just say automatic buy, but man, I love that first movie so much, and I can't imagine this one isn't going to be good. So yeah, probably.
Yeah, I know what you
Plus, I
mean.
mean, it would just look they would look so good as a
They
set.
would. It's a whole shelf worth of figures,
Oh yeah,
and it'd be a good shelf
easily.
worth of figures too.
Yeah,
Especially since these suits lend themselves very well
it's
for a
6. It's
hot toy.
6 figures.
Oh, it is 6 figures. I don't know why.
It's
I literally
15.
looked at it and
I
said
thought it was
5,
6.
yeah.
I thought it
I
was
guess I was
it's
looking at
50.
this. Maybe I had it zoomed in like this. I was like, "Yep, that's
Yeah,
5."
yeah.
Yeah.
$1,500. Oof. At least because who knows? I mean, but I on the low end, I would think they would be 250.
Yeah, probably. They
So
probably would be around the 250
250,
might be
300
kinda
bucks.
steep because they don't come with anything. You know what I mean? They're just,
you
maybe
think
some
so?
lightning bolt effects. Like, I think they
Well,
could be
that's what I
around
was
the
saying.
220.
There would be some lightning effect or something that they would have. I would think with it. Um,
Maybe.
now, what I would buy in a heartbeat, I would pre-order in a heartbeat, assuming the likenesses are up to Hot Toys standards, would be a Billy Batson Shazam pack.
Ooh,
If
that's a
they
good thing.
did
That's a good
a
idea.
Shazam pack with Billy, it would be, yeah, it'd
Especially
be
because
over.
you
I'd
could
be mad.
have if they had a big lightning bolt effect that you could attach to
Sure.
Billy's chest, so you could have Billy
Yeah.
just kinda stand there, like, looking up with a lightning bolt, and then Shazam just standing behind. That would be a fucking cool setup.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
cool. That would be good. That'd be like the DX version, for the 2-pack, right? You can just buy Shazam, or you can buy the Sideshow exclusive that comes with the little Billy Batson figure or something. I think
Yep.
at the very least, a Captain Marvel, aka Shazam, and then a Miss Marvel. I think at the very least they should make those 2 figures, and if not the whole family, because those are the main 2 people, like, in all honesty, Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel. Even those 2,
Captain
they're
Marvel Jr.
yeah. I
Yeah.
could probably see him making the Captain Marvel Junior just because the kid version of that character at least had such a large role in the first one. So
Oh,
he's
definitely.
definitely like a main character in the movies for sure. So maybe
Uh-huh.
not so much of his superhero side yet, but maybe in the second one we don't know yet. So we'll have to
Did
see.
you like the first one, Rick?
It wasn't bad. I liked it. I thought it was entertaining and it was fun to watch. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I think I've literally seen it just once. But yeah, I
Okay.
like the idea of it. Like as somebody who's not really familiar with the lore of it and everything, I thought it was like kind of a cool concept.
Uh-huh.
I love the movie, man. I thought it was really good. I think I liked it more than most. I think though. I don't think
You
anybody.
did like it a lot.
I don't think anybody like no, I don't think anybody disliked it. It had like really good reviews and everyone really
Yeah.
liked it who did go out and see it. It's just that no like not a lot of people went out to see it. I think it only made like 300 million. I'm glad it was as good as it was because if it was based on if the sequel was relying on how much money it made, they wouldn't have fucking made a sequel
No.
because it just didn't make
Mhm.
enough money. But they're banking on the fact that it was such a good movie and it was so well received by critics and the audience that okay, if we make a sequel, I'm sure more people will come out to see it because
Right.
it's picked up steam after the fact and it was so good. So and then now and plus they're going full steam ahead with Black Adam, so they really couldn't just not continue with Shazam, like because they can't just not have Shazam and Black Adam in a movie together at some point. I
Right.
mean, it is Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
It is Warner Brothers, though. So they never made Man of Steel 2, so I don't know. I'll never know what to think. But question is, though, guys, what do you think about these suits? Do you think they look better than the old, the OG padded suits? I liked those suits. They definitely looked better on screen, more so than they did in the set photos, but you could still obviously tell they were just, they were fake padded muscle suits. You know what I mean? They still had that look no matter what. They definitely looked fine. They were tolerable, but I think these ones just have a much better aesthetic, more realistic, grounded kind of look to them. So, whatever you think, let us know down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So, our next topic here is none other than we're going to stick in the DCEU actually for this too, by the way. This is a we got this a little bit. I don't know if it was necessarily sooner. The other trailer for this, we got a new trailer for James Gunn's Suicide Squad, but I felt like we just got the other trailer like not all that long ago. But I guess the movie is coming out here like in a couple months, so we should be getting some more trailers here soon, I guess. But I thought this trailer was really good. Personally, I think they teased the whole um Starro thing in the last trailer. So now they just dropped like, yeah, it's Starro and Project Starfish and etc. Like John Cena had his little joke there with when Starfish, and it's also a name for like butthole. You think there's any relation? Like that was kind of funny. Like that was good. And like I thought I'm
What's up?
excited for this movie personally. What did you guys think about it? Do you guys like hype for this movie at this point?
I'm super hype. I think it'll be sweet.
I think it'll be good too.
Right.
Looks fantastic.
What's up,
Like
creeps? John.
I'm excited for it personally. I'm trying to
I
pull
mean,
up some cool clips of it.
it's got like just the opening part, like it's not like obviously you're gonna get James Gunn's like I don't know, a little less probably restrained, but his sense of humor, like you're gonna get that Guardians of the Galaxy type comedic interplay between the team members. Maybe a little more crude, a little more adult because this will be rated R versus the PG-13 version you get with Guardians. So you get that type of humor, which will be great and funny and hilarious. Um, But then you're also like just the opening segment with Bloodsport and like why he's in prison and why he would join this team and Amanda Waller kind of manipulating him. Like I think there's going to be some real emotion and stakes in this movie too. It's not just going to be it's going to be a lot of stupid blow 'em up funny jokes and stuff too, but you're also going to have some heart behind it too, which I'm looking forward to.
That's a good way to put it.
I could see a lot of people too with the way they introduced Bloodsport himself, like people being confused and thinking he's just Deadshot. Because if you remember,
Yeah.
Deadshot was pretty much in the movie for the same reason, like something about his daughter, and it's like,
His
oh, is he
daughter.
It's
just
the same sort of concept.
yeah, it's like, is he just playing the same guy? Like, I could see it being confusing for people. I don't think anybody would really care though. I mean, they could. Honestly, I think most people, when Idris Elba first got announced to be in the movie, I think everyone assumed at first he was just replacing Will Smith anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what
Yeah.
you would probably think. Yeah.
so I don't know. I think it looks great though. I think if anything, I hope this movie does good because we could get some good hot toys out of this, man.
That's like your like modus operandi with all of this. It's just like
That's all that matters, Rick. Can I put something in my shelf? Like,
right,
what do you mean? I would love a king shark. I don't think they would ever make it.
like a seamless king shark.
Yeah, a
Seamless
seamless
body.
king shark. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That would be fucking awesome. Like, you can't tell me that wouldn't be awesome. But then Harley,
Well,
I
you
could
know,
see getting 2 Harleys, but like she's in 2 different outfits.
Well, you know, it'd be super awesome is a 5-foot Hot Toy Starro figure.
Oh, yeah, dude,
that
that'd be
towers
super
above them
cool.
all.
I want a weasel.
Like you could have a whole entire like corner of your room sectioned off and have Starro towering over all of them and them all around him fighting them all.
Yeah,
It's
like
just-
up on his shoulders.
Speaking of Starro, this trailer did show us, because we talked about this before, like, are we going to get the small Starros? Oh, we're getting the small Starros.
Oh, yeah.
They're everywhere. There was a
Yeah.
lot of them. I'm trying to find it in the trailer again, but they were fucking everywhere. So
Yeah.
I'm curious if they're gonna do anything with them or if they're just gonna be kind of nuisances. I don't see a world where James Gunn doesn't have those things grabbing onto people's faces and taking control of them. Like, I don't
Sure.
see it. Like, he has to go. He has to do that.
The visual image of that is pretty creepy and pretty cool looking. Like I
Mhm.
mean, anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, just Google like Starro. In particular, if you want to Google JLA Starro, there was a JLA story with Starro. I mean, there have been tons of Justice League stories with Starro, but there was a particular one back in the 90s that Grant Morrison did that was just actually I think it was a fill-in issue that maybe Mark Waid did, but it featured Starro and it was just a phenomenal story that they did and just really creepy imagery of the Justice League with the starfish covering their faces and taking control of them. Really cool concept and good execution. So, but I will say the one thing I'll say is I think it came
There they
up either
are.
this week or yeah, they're there. I think it came up this week or recently. Yeah, look at that. That looks awesome.
They're fucking everywhere,
I
dude. Like,
can't wait. I can't
There's a
wait.
lot of them.
there's a lot of them. That's gonna be cool.
It came up this week, I think, or maybe it's been a few weeks now. But James Gunn was asked. He was asked point blank, "Is this movie set in the DCEU?" I mean, obviously they reference Superman being shot by Bloodsport with a kryptonite bullet and stuff, and I think I'm pretty sure James Gunn's response was, "Yeah, this is still set in the DCEU. I mean, these are the characters they're carrying over." DC is really kind of painting themselves into a very strange corner here where they don't want to bring Henry Cavill back. They want to eliminate some aspects of the DCEU, but they clearly want to carry some of the aspects over. And it's like they can't just make up their minds and do something with it. Like I don't I'm very confused as to how they're going to keep this narrative going with this pseudo mainline continuity that they've established between Wonder Woman and Aquaman and the Suicide Squad and all the movies that came before that tie into them, but then also have their own, all these one shots that don't tie into it, but then also not even really tie the ones that do go together. Like it's a very odd scattershot approach, and maybe what is it, Discovery having control now, maybe they'll figure out a way to get their act in order and get things lined up so it makes a little more sense. But it's a very odd corner that they've painted themselves into right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Like the only thing I'll say is that they haven't said that they didn't want to work with Henry Cavill anymore. So I just hope that
You're all
No, they
about this
just
Henry
released
Cavill
they
reason.
just won't do it.
released a press announcement. They released a press announcement on his birthday that they are working on a new Superman script featuring a black Superman as the lead. Like, I mean, yeah, you didn't say you didn't want me for the job, but you told everybody how good this
Right.
other candidate was. You
Well,
know?
just bear in mind the fact that they're making a black Superman movie. That means Henry Cavill can still be Superman. That's my only.
Yeah, it's
So they
Like,
had two Superman movies concurrently
yeah, you know what I mean? Because
going. I
obviously
could see it.
they
Yeah,
could, if they cast a black Superman, they can't just say it's Henry Cavill's at that point. That's just like then
sure.
I will throw all like I already shit on Warner Brothers enough. You can't just do that.
yeah.
Like, do
Yeah.
something original. Like, take advantage of tell a fucking
A
interesting
different
story.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Don't just say like, "Well, this guy is just gonna be that guy now." Like, just completely overlook the fact that he's black and we could do a lot of cool stuff with the story with that. I mean, we're just gonna throw it away. Just like, yeah, well, he's just gonna be the same one. Like, no,
Yeah.
like, do it for a reason, man. I'd have to add
Yeah.
though, while this shot has been up this whole time. This is James Gunn for you. He literally
Yeah.
has a giant starfish vagina here.
It literally, that's like exactly what that is.
It's 100% a giant starfish vagina that they're all coming out of. Like, that
Or
is a
something,
very
yeah.
highly detailed vagina. No, it is. Like, you can see the little hole here where they're all actually being shot directly out of it. Like, this is a
Look at
giant.
that like pink shit to the right.
So, well, that's just part of his skin.
I know, but it's just what.
So, I mean, you know
That's
for a
gross.
fact we're gonna have a line of somebody saying something about this giant vagina. Like, it's gonna happen. Like, yeah, I can't. It's funny. Like you could throw this on there, a like 3-story vagina, and it's perfectly fine. It looks just like a real vagina, but you throw a real vagina on that camera, whew, like there are gonna be some problems. Like it's a fucking the world we live in.
We know they
dude.
exist, but you can't show them.
Exactly. It's like decapitation and giant alien vaginas that look just like vaginas. Those are fine, but do
But as
not.
long as it's not a
Yeah,
human.
don't show no titties though. Like,
Or do.
God. Yeah. Anyhow, I think this looks great though.
Yeah,
I'm
I
very
think it looks
excited for this
good.
movie. And then shortly after this, Chris Pratt just said, I think he was on Kimmel, they're going to be shooting Guardians 3 like in November, I think. I think is what he was saying. Like I think from November to March is what he said. That's their shoot date for Guardians 3. So that's coming too.
Well, yeah, Gunn's got to wrap up Peacemaker before he moves over to that. He's a busy guy right now.
He is. And then hopefully he comes back and does another. You want to see him do like a Suicide Squad 2?
Part
3?
B.
I don't know. Like, or with like something else.
Yeah, no, I mean, it just depends on kind of what he wants to do. If I'm DC, I'm telling him like, look, do what you want to do because from everything we've seen, this movie looks like it's going to be really good, and it's obviously good enough that they greenlit an HBO series based off of it. So
Right.
if he has ideas to do another Suicide Squad, let him do another But if he has ideas to do something else in the DC universe, I mean, maybe he does the next standalone Harley Quinn movie,
That'd be good.
or
Maybe he does that Harley and Poison Ivy movie that
Harley and
Margot
Poison
Robbie
Ivy,
wants
yep.
to do. Yeah,
There you go.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
That'd be cool.
That'd be good. See, having a writer as talented as him doing it, it would be a good movie. I would have more faith in it at least. Because the Birds of Prey movie just ended up not being very good. Like, I mean, I didn't think it was as bad as a lot of people like tend to
Yeah.
think it was, but it was watchable. But it definitely missed the mark. It could have been a lot better. But I would like to see like that Harley and Ivy movie, but maybe even bring back the Birds of Prey and actually like let them do some stuff. Because
Yeah.
like what was her name? I can't remember her name. The girl who played Huntress, like she's great, and like the girl who played
Black Canary.
Black Canary was good and good in the movie too.
Yeah.
So what is her name? Like Winslet or something? The girl from like Scott Pilgrim and the girl from Clover 10 Cloverfield Lane. I don't know why I can't remember her name, but either way, Mary
Yeah,
Kate
no,
Winslet or something.
that might
Mary,
be it.
I don't remember what it is. Either way, she's great. She's great, and she was great as Huntress. I would just like to have seen more of that. She had like 10 minutes of screen time. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, you essentially call a movie Birds of Prey, and they're really not in the movie.
Right.
Like, it was kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. And fucking Ewan McGregor's Black Mask was cool too. He's a little bit over the top, but he was cool, man. Like, I
Yeah.
would totally love to see him. I think I'm pretty sure he died in the movie, but which is a shame. But anyway, it was good. And like, it had its moments, we'll say, at the very least. So,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
there it is. I was close. I knew it was Mary, and I said Winslet. I was around the right area there. So, speaking of area, we got this here too. So, nevertheless, so the question is though, guys, a Suicide Squad trailer from James Gunn is coming out. And like I said, what would you like to see James Gunn do in the DC universe again after he's finished up with Peacemaker and Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Do you want to see him come back and do another DC movie? Maybe a Suicide Squad 2 or 3 or 2.5, whatever you want to call it, or just something else? You know, do a Harley Quinn standalone movie. Do Superman, bring Henry Cavill back and do Superman that way. Whatever you think, let us know down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our next topic is another new trailer, but this time it's been a long time since people say this, but it hasn't because we just recently got the new one, but it's a new MCU trailer. It's a second Shang-Chi trailer. Now, this one I do think was a little bit too soon. I feel like the first one just dropped like within a month, if I'm not mistaken. And quite frankly, as much as I liked this trailer and thought it was better than the first trailer, I think they showed way too much in this trailer, honestly. And the only thing I can think is as to why would be because Shang-Chi is such an unknown character to the general population and just general, the old GA, the general audience. They don't know who the hell Shang-Chi is. So like I could get it. But similarly, it's contradictory because the things that I thought was too much in this was the showing of Fin Fang Foom and then the showing of Abomination, which the general audience ain't gonna know who the fuck that is either. You know, we haven't seen Abomination since Ed Norton's Hulk. He's
Right.
been mentioned a couple times, but he's never been seen since then. So, like, when they see the two glimpses of Abomination in this trailer, no one paying attention to that. They don't know what the hell that is. And then they're definitely not gonna know what Fin Fang Foom is. I've seen people out there thinking that this is the Kung Lao dragon. I can't what is his name? The dragon that Iron Fist fights and gets the power. Like, why the fuck would it be that dragon? Like, no, y'all are. It has to be Fin Fang Foom. Fin Fang Foom is intrinsically tied to the Shang-Chi franchise. Makes no sense for it to be the dragon at Kung Lao. I can't remember his name. Like, John, do you remember the dragon's name? The Kung Lao dragon that Iron Fist beats? I can't remember his name. What's the
Oh,
dragon
no.
name? Because Kung Lao's the place. What's the hell was the dragon's name? It doesn't matter. It's not that dragon.
Yeah.
I've
Mr.
seen people
Dragon.
out there thinking it was that dragon. It's like, why would it be that dragon? It's not Iron Fist. It's Shang-Chi. Fin Fang Foom. It's a giant alien. That's what it is. The 10 rings are alien artifacts themselves. It's just, why the hell would it be that dragon? It makes no sense. But this trailer I thought it was good. Rick, did you watch this trailer?
No.
You didn't watch this trailer?
No,
Well,
but
I'll have it play here a while so you can
Right,
be able to
yeah.
hear it. But, John, what were
interested.
your thoughts on this trailer, though?
I love it, man.
Oh, it's
I'm
great.
getting
I really
so
like it.
excited. I'm getting so excited for this movie. Like I kind of get what you're saying. What they showed a lot. I think the Abomination thing is going to be like kind of a throwaway thing. I don't think Abomination is going to be a main story point. So his inclusion didn't really bother me.
That's
Fin
exactly
Fang
why I
Foom,
want this should have been a surprise. Like, it because it's gonna be that one scene in this underground fight club, and that's it.
yeah,
And,
it's
like
going to be like they're going to be on their way to do something else, and he gets roped into fighting him
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah. Is it even him that's fighting Abomination, or is
No,
it?
it looked like,
It's Wong. It's
it looked
Wong
like
from
Wong.
Doctor
Yeah.
Strange, right?
That's what it looked
Yeah,
like.
because he makes his whole
He
So
makes
like
his
maybe
shield
they're
and
going to
everything.
maybe they're going to get Wong, and like Wong is like tracking down. I don't know. Whatever.
Hey, I don't know
The
why he's in
rationale
a
for
ring with Abomination.
exactly. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever the rationale is, I don't think. I
Yeah.
think it's a small thing. So yeah, I obviously that would have been cool if it had shown up later on, but it's also if it's not really a main part of the story, then it's just a cool thing to get excitement built up for the movie. So you're right. They're walking. It's a difficult. Sorry, I'm glancing down at the screen to try and watch the trailer while you're. It's a difficult thing for them to, you know, balance that, getting people's hype and anticipation up for the movie, but also not showing enough or not showing too much. So, all right,
There's
right there.
Abomination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, dude, when I saw that, I literally was like, I was laying in bed with my wife, who couldn't give a shit less about this. Doesn't know who the fuck Shang-Chi is. Doesn't know who Abomination is. And when I saw that happen, I was like, for one, when I saw Fin Fang Foom, I was even like, hey, what the what is this? It's Fin Fang Foom. They actually
She's just like,
she's like,
"Get us
holy
hype,
shit.
shut up."
Yeah, and I like paused it and went back and I was like, look, it's the fucking dragon. That's Fin Fang Foom.
I can picture her
Wow.
literally just like looking at you like,
And then well, yeah, and exactly. She's just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. Like, and I don't care either. And then like, so I keep playing, and then Abomination's there, so I'm just like 10 times more excited than I was when I saw Fin Fang Foom.
despite my ignorance, I
Like-
at least know who both of them are. Fin Fang Foom and Abomination.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like with that Abomination thing, because as John was saying, I 100% agree. It's gonna be a quick thing. We probably won't even. We may not even hear him talk, even though he can talk like a normal person. So like maybe we will. Maybe he's talking shit. Like I have no idea. That'd be kind of fun.
Fuck you.
Yeah, like whatever. But nevertheless, I would have loved to have been in here watching this movie that would really have no like bearing for a Hulk villain to show up in. Like, and they go into this little like fight club thing, and like we see Wong, or maybe the story beat is they're trying to find Wong, and then we hear, oh, he's stuck here, like they, whatever, for whatever reason. So we're like, oh, cool, we're gonna get to see Wong. But then when we
Hopefully-
see Wong, he's fighting Abomination. That would have been awesome.
Hopefully they just don't go like the wrong way or anything.
Yeah,
The
that's
movie doesn't
true.
go the
Yeah.
wrong way. Ah! That's horrible.
Yeah. But that would have been an amazing surprise. You know what I mean? Like, it's been 10 years since we've seen Abomination. And I've always
Dude, it's been
wanted
longer
them-
than that.
maybe 11 years.
I was in high school when that movie came out.
Ed Norton's Hulk came out in 2010, so it's been 11
2010,
years.
really?
Yeah, because Iron Man
Yeah.
came out in 2008.
2008.
Wait a
yeah.
minute.
Yeah, so it was 2009 or 2010. I'm pretty sure it
was-
was 2 years after Iron Man.
Because I was
though.
dating this girl.
Maybe only
my
a year.
It was, dude, I was dating this girl my senior year of high school, and we went and saw it together.
Well, it came out after Iron Man.
I graduated in 2008.
It still came out after Iron Man. I don't know what to tell you. It came out-
I'm just trying to get I'm gonna have to text my ex
Hold
girlfriend
on.
from high school and be like, "Hey, when did we see that Hulk movie?"
Was it just called Hulk, or was it Incredible Hulk? No, it was Incredible Hulk.
It wasn't the Eric Bana one. That one was
Yeah.
what?
No, it came out the same year, so it came out 2008.
Yeah, that's what I thought because it was the summer of
Yeah,
2008.
it just came out very shortly after the Iron Man film that it did then. That's right. It did. I remember now. It did come out. It came out a couple months after.
No, I
Yeah.
was still in high school. Right,
Yeah,
fresh
most of the time it's 2 years. It was back then. It was 2 years in between these kind of movies. So yeah. Nevertheless, so it's been what 13 years since we've seen
It's been a minute.
Abomination, and like his big reveal is in a trailer.
Of him fighting.
Like come on, because he'd been rumored to be showing back up in the She-Hulk show. So like maybe this leads into that in some capacity. I don't know, but like it just would have been a lot better for that to be a surprise. Like I'm hyped for it now, but I just would fucking like to see that being surprised. That's just me.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, assuming that is Fing Fang Foom and that this is obviously this is Abomination. I'm still not sure about the dragon. What that is. I feel like that could also be like a vision or
That's what
something.
I was just about to say.
It could
just
be.
because of the way it appears. He doesn't appear as, he appears like as water, or like I can't
Well, he's
remember
in the
from my,
water.
he's in the water. Okay, so yeah, so anyway, but regardless, you're right. If they reveal both of those things, like, what surprises are left to be revealed in the actual movie itself? So,
There it
um,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. So like he's in water because he gets he gets thrown in the water
Okay.
and he's there in the water.
Okay.
It might not be Fin Fang Foom, but like why I don't understand why it would be any other dragon. It would make no sense for they're not in Kung Lao, so why would it be
Yeah.
that dragon? You know what I mean? Like like Shang-Chi, I mean there might be some comic where he crosses over with Iron Fist and meets that drag. I don't know, but Iron Fist
Well, I don't
kills
think
that
it's the iron.
dragon.
It's not the Iron Fist dragon. I mean,
Yeah.
it does. You're right. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not saying it's that dragon, and I don't know why people would be so adamant that it would be that
Yeah, I don't
dragon,
know.
because narratively, they've already done that dragon over the Iron Fist show, and it's Kevin Feige hasn't exactly jumped at the chance to retread any ground that those Marvel shows did.
Mhm.
He kind of wants to do. He's even, he's had the rights to him back for a minute now, and he's still leaving all those characters off the off the screen until he figures out how he wants to do them. So I don't think that they would just jump at that. So plus I just, again, I think he's got a plan. He's doing his own thing with this stuff, and it could be Fing Fang Foom, but I also, like I said, I think maybe a Vision. I don't know.
Dude, do you wanna know what I just noticed on Abomination? He's got his gills on his head now. He's evolved. Look at this shit. You can see him. They gave him his, like, ear gills. He never had those before, and then he's more gilly looking than he was before.
Very gilly.
Remember, it was, like, just, like, his spine all bulged out in the first movie, and he
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
have the gilly ears? Now he's, like, got his, like, gills and shit, so they made him look more like the true Abomination now. That's so fucking cool. Damn it, this would have been a surprise. This is so cool. You can see his little ears and shit. Man, I don't even like Abomination. It's just cool that he's back.
Yes,
And now he
yeah.
looks more green instead of like yellow like he was in the
Yeah.
he was like fucking like yellowish orange in the other movie, which made sense because the Hulk's fucking green, so they didn't just want two big green things hitting each other. But he's he looks more like he's supposed to now, so I'm kinda digging that. That looks really cool. I never even noticed it before, but yeah, he's totally got his little gilly looking ears, man.
Very gilly.
Yeah, this is gonna be cool. I'm pretty hyped for this now. Even though there's gonna be like 2 seconds in the movie, it's kinda still gonna be cool to see regardless. But yeah, I'm hyped for it. I will say this, at the very least, this made me someone who knows about Fin Fang Foom and Abomination. It made me more excited for the movie. I don't think it would make anybody else more excited though, because they don't know who those characters are. like, like it was, I guess, a better trailer in some ways, but dropping these things in it, I don't know if it really would make everyone be more hype. I feel like it really targets people like us, which I find odd because
Yeah.
we were already gonna go see the movie. You know, we were gonna go see it. So I don't know. It's interesting. In the end, it was a good trailer. That's really all that matters.
Yeah.
And it
It
did
was
make
cool.
me
I liked it.
it did make me more excited for it. So I guess it did do its job.
Curious
So
about these damn rings.
yeah, I don't know how they're gonna like do the rings and like what they're gonna do because they
There's 10 of them.
there's 10 of them. Yeah, but like they have a very like they look cool what they're doing with them, but like we don't know really what they're gonna do with them in the franchise in general. You know what I mean? Like what kind of power are they gonna have? And it kind of just looks like they're whipping them around,
Right.
but like to what extent? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. So I am curious to see what they plan on doing with the 10 rings in the MCU. So we'll have to wait and see. But question is, guys, what did you think about the Shang-Chi trailer? Are you like me? A kind of did you like the trailer like I did, but are also kind of disappointed they revealed these things? You know what I mean? I think showing Fin Fang and Foom would have been fine, and they could have stopped it there, and that would have been cool. I would have rather seen this Abomination stuff like in the movie theater, quite frankly, because he's gonna be here for like 2 seconds. So I just think it would have been a lot better of a surprise, but that's just me. But whatever you guys think, let us know down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our penultimate topic here before we get into our Bad Batch episode 9 spoiler discussion here, which I'm pretty excited about because it's a pretty good episode. We learned a couple of things. So excited to talk about that. But this one here is just a shout out to all you Smallville fans here because Tom Welling recently, I think he hopped on like Twitter or Instagram or something and posted a little video and confirmed that him and Michael Rosenbaum are indeed working on an animated revival series of Smallville. And he didn't talk too much about it, but he definitely alluded to the fact that it's gonna be a continuation of sorts because he said, like, him and Michael are working on something to bring these characters back to life in an animated show or an animated format or something along those lines. So it's interesting in the sense that there's ever since Smallville ended, there had been a comic book line that kinda continued on. I never read it or anything, but I saw the comics there. Like, there was a comic book series that, if I'm not mistaken, it technically was canon to the show, but it was just, like, some kinda offshoot stuff that happened that never was in the show. So I don't know if it's gonna be anything that was, like, I don't know if they're adapting these comic stories into, this animated series, or if they're just gonna make a whole new animated series that maybe continues directly after the events of the Smallville series, or just something. I mean, it's been like 10 years since Smallville was on the air, so maybe this animated series will pick up 10 years after Smallville, and we'll actually have just him being Superman at that point because he was Superman at the end of Smallville. So kind of interesting. John, did you watch all of Smallville, by the way?
I did.
What do you think about did you like it? It was
I
definitely
did.
it was a product of its time,
For sure.
but
We were
I
talking about
I
that.
loved it. It was like it definitely had its ups and downs. It picked up on season 4, and I think from season 4 to season 8 is like the premium Smallville experience. Like, you get a little bit of everything in there for that. And then season 9 and 10 kinda went downhill, but it was still watchable. They didn't have the best Doomsday, even though it was my boy Sam Witwer. It still wasn't the best interpretation of Doomsday. The dark side stuff could have been better, but it was still cool that they tried those things given the time period that this thing was in, because at that point in time, comic book movies were not as, like, in a place that they are now. So, like, it took some balls for them to even try doing it, so I give them, like, mad props for even, like, trying to do it on the budget that they had.
Really?
So and then Michael Rosenbaum, for a lot of people, is, like, the cream of the crop when it comes to Lex Luthor. Like, he did a great job. It was
Sure.
very different Lex Luthor, but it was very relatable Lex Luthor, and it was very reminiscent to some interpretations. It was good. I liked it overall. I thought it was a great show. So, what Rick and, well, John, what did you think about it?
I was gonna say I knew.
Because I went to John first and I started talking.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I love Smallville. I even think the first seasons were. I mean, I would the whole show, like you said, ups and downs, but the whole show was very good. Um, it's kind of repetitious now on this for us to talk about this kind of thing, but the show came out back in the day when there just wasn't a lot of superhero content out there, be it movies, TV shows, whatever. There just wasn't a lot. So the idea that we would get a Superman, I mean, that the whole premise of the show and the whole reason the show even got made in the first place was because they agreed, or they assured, at this time it was the WB network, they assured them that they would not put the superhero trappings on the show. This would be Clark Kent, a farm boy, coming of age and developing these powers, and them, telling the story of what it was like for young Clark Kent growing up in Smallville. And it fit right in with the niche of the WB network, which was teen dramas, because it's a kid in high school and all his trials and tribulations. And that was what sold WB on the show. That was the only reason we got the show, was because it wasn't supposed to be a superhero show. It was a superhero show in name only. They didn't call it Superboy. They didn't call it, the Young Adventures of Superman, or the Adventures of Young Superman, or something silly like that. They called it Smallville because they were trying to distance themselves from anything superhero. And with all those restrictions and all those limitations, they still put together a pretty entertaining superhero and comic book show for its time. So I loved it for what it was, and I thought Tom Welling, I thought, did an excellent job. He fit the farm boy growing up in the Midwest persona exceptionally well, I thought. Kind of very humble, very down to earth, which is, always been the couple of the main characteristics of Superman. Always did what was right when it came down to it. So yeah, I'm excited to hear that they might be bringing it back in some form. I'm excited to hear that not only are they bringing it back, but that Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum, and I'm hoping Kristen Kirk, who played Lana, will be involved in some fashion with it, just because she was such a big part of the show for such a long time.
I liked Erica
Obviously,
Durance, though, who played Lois. I
Oh
thought she
yeah,
was great. Like, for
Erica
sure.
Durance was great too. If I'm sure that if they can, they'll find a spot. I'm a little surprised by this news, just because I thought Tom Welling. One of the reasons the show ended was because Tom Welling was basically done playing the character. But now they've all had some time away from the roles, and so maybe they're ready to go back and revisit it. They've had a chance to do other things and not, live in that kind of cyclical nature of continuing to do a 22, 24 episode show every year, and the time commitment that involves. So, but yeah, I'm happy to hear that might be coming back in some form.
Just
I'm guessing
because
HBO Max series.
it
I'm
would have
guessing,
to, yeah, it would have to be, I would think.
right?
Why else would they put it on, like, they wouldn't put it on CW at this point.
Yeah.
But this story reminded me of, this news also dropped from, that Jensen Ackles is making a Supernatural prequel, and, the weird thing about it, like, it's gonna focus on, it's because of the CW, like, this was a CW show, so it just reminded me of this. Um, the weird thing about it, though, because you were saying that, like, Tom Welling and, Michael Rosenbaum are working together to bring this thing to fruition. The weird thing about this Supernatural prequel, it's supposed to focus on, their father, who was played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and then their mom, who I forget the actress who played it, but it's gonna be a prequel, so, like, when they were younger, so it's not gonna be Jeffrey Dean Morgan or anything, but the show is gonna be narrated by Jensen Ackles' character, but apparently, um, Jared Padalecki, who played Sam in the show, knew nothing about this. Like, he literally, like, this news got, like, tweeted out, and, like, Jared Padalecki responded to it and was like, "Oh, man, like, that's great, like, I'm super happy for you, but I wish, I wish Sam could have been involved in this somehow." Like, it was really fucking weird. It's like, this show went on for, like, 18 years. It was literally a chunk of these 2 dudes' life, and for him to not know anything about it, I find really strange. Like, you know what I mean? You'd think that this would be something they both would have worked on. Like, not that like he's like owed anything from it by any means. It's just very strange because you see like Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling, like in like they obviously have a very good relationship post Smallville world. Like they have like their own company together outside of that, and they have for years. And Jared Padalecki and the what's his fucking name? Jensen Ackles here have always been like seemingly really good friends too outside of this stuff. So I just thought it was weird. Like, I don't know.
But if if Jensen was approached to do it and he agreed to do it, or he said, that's something I'd be interested in doing it, that's a little different. If the CW network or the execs at CW are the ones that are kind of orchestrating this whole thing, it's a little different than Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum orchestrating a return. I mean, it sounds like maybe Jensen just agreed to be a part of it, not necessarily that he was pushing to have this show done
Well,
or
no, it's
get
going
this
to be
show
made.
made.
It's being produced by his production company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like he had to be involved in it from like what I mean. So it's just weird that he didn't
Yeah,
reach
no,
out
you're
to
right.
him.
You're
You
right.
know
I
what I
didn't
mean?
realize. I guess that's yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's coming. It's literally from him and his wife's production company. That's why it just
Okay.
not to get like TMZ here with it, but it's just fucking
They
weird,
were
man.
they were I never watched
That is weird.
Supernatural. They were brothers, right?
Yeah, they were brothers in the show, like from the
Okay.
start. Yeah,
I
it was
thought
like they were
so,
both
yeah.
in it from the very start of the show, and you should totally go and watch Supernatural, dude. There's a ton
I'd
of
like to.
content there
There's,
for it, and it's really
I mean,
good.
but you talk about really committing. That's
That's a lot.
what 14 or 15 season, 22 episodes a year show.
Yeah, man, it's good though, dude. It's really good.
Hour long episodes. We're talking
Yeah.
45-minute episodes. We're talking like
Get it.
6 months
You'll
of
have it's a couple
straight
months of
watching.
content. Honestly, dude, I
can't keep up with Bad Batch for
I was
crying
gonna
out
say, yeah,
loud.
like
That's
What
true.
makes you think I'm gonna like? We're gonna get
Oh,
into it
man.
in a few minutes here, but yeah, I'll give you my thoughts on the latest Bad Batch in 7 weeks when I finally get to watch it.
Yeah, there are
15.
15 seasons of Supernatural. But
Phew.
it's good though, man. It's really good. It's really good.
That's the show for when I retire.
People that like
I have a list of retirement shows that I'm making.
people that like Supernatural like love Supernatural too. I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it's
it's got
very
its own
popular.
convention kind of shit. Yeah.
I've never
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it.
It's really good. I don't think you would like it, honestly, Rick.
You got a very short attention span, so
Yeah, I don't see you getting through 15 seasons of content.
no.
Like, and especially like
I got through 13 seasons at King of the Hill. It's a little different though.
Yeah, they're 20-minute episodes, and it's a little bit easier to get through. Supernatural is definitely good. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a good show.
It was fun.
It was a fun show. Like, because I never, like, once season 13 or 14 hit, I ended up like not finishing it. So like just recently, a couple months ago, I went back and finished off the series. And it's one of those shows that actually, like, the ending wasn't 100% what I would have thought it would be, but they still stuck the landing. I thought it was good. I think they did a good job. And it's a show that, like, for fuck's sake, it went on for 15 years, and the apocalypse happened in season 4. So they found a way to keep the thing going and keep it interesting for another 11 years after that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, and it just became a thing where, like, the characters of Sam and Dean were just so good. And, like, they had such good chemistry and they were so entertaining on screen that, like, you were just there to hang out with the boys. Like, it didn't even matter what the fuck they were doing anymore at that point. They were like, you were just having a good time. But it was consistently good. Like, it had its ups and downs, but it was really good. They did a fucking Scooby-Doo crossover episode.
That's crazy.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they did a ton of stuff. It was a good show. Really good show. So, yeah. But, yeah, back to the Smallville aspect of all this, though. It's like I said, it just made me think of that because of the CW connection. I'm excited for it though in some ways. Like I would like this. I'm curious though because like, is it gonna be in the same tone and vein of Smallville, or are they gonna switch it up in some way? You know what I mean? Because if they do go the 10 years later route, it could be like a lot different. You know what I mean? And it's also gonna be interesting because that like his version of Clark has already encountered Doomsday and Darkseid before he was even Superman. So I'm curious of what they're even gonna really do with it.
Well, I'm assuming if Michael Rosenbaum is part of it too, you're going to be bringing back an older Lex Luthor and kind of him maybe amping up his attacks against Superman. Maybe, I don't know. You asked if they would follow the storyline from the comic books. Those comic books are considered in canon up until, just like with Star Wars, up until they're not. So,
Exactly.
they could, those are technically they're in canon right now, but as soon as they have a hit or even a animated show that they want to produce that they think is going to reach, maybe a couple million viewers versus the, tens of thousands of comics that get sold, they will discard that continuity in a heartbeat to make room for whatever they want to do here. So, but
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they could, think about all the you've talked about multiple times, especially when we talk about the new Black Adam movie, the JSA characters that they had in that show.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
I loved that too.
they could bring back those, the Justice League characters that they had at one point. They could bring back those. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that they can touch on from the old series and bring back and for storytelling purposes. So
Hell,
yeah, I
they
think
could
it'd be
bring in
fun.
Batman. Like, they could do whatever the
Yeah,
fuck they wanted
they
in
could
cartoon
finally do
form.
they could finally do Batman. They never did it. They
Yep.
teased it, but they never did it. They
They
could
teased
finally do
it, and they
Batman.
brought in Oliver to kinda, like, play that role
Yep,
for them a little bit, and,
yep.
I liked that Green Arrow too. It's kinda cheesy, but I like the guy who plays him. He's in, like, This Is Us now, and, like, I thought it
Hartley
was good.
something
Yeah,
something Hartley, I
Justin
think.
Hartley, yeah, Justin
Justin
Hartley.
Hartley, yeah.
Yeah, like, I love
Yeah,
him
good.
in,
Yeah, he was
This Is
great, good in that role.
yeah.
At one point they had talked about doing a spin-off with
They
him
did. He was also
before they
he was in an Aquaman thing. Did you see that?
yes.
Oh, man.
Yes, the Aquaman
You can go
pilot that they
you can go
did.
watch it.
Yep.
It's terrible. It's god
Yeah.
awful. Yeah, but they
Yep.
were gonna do a Green Arrow spinoff, and that just kinda died. Like, and then they made Stephen Amell's
And then you
version.
see him go on to have a bunch, yeah, which obviously, I mean, I guess it worked out
It
for
did.
everyone because Stephen Amell had a great run and started the whole Arrowverse on CW, and Hartley went over and did This Is Us and has been extremely popular over there. So
Yeah, definitely made the right call. I was worried at one point too, because I remember I was in Meyer one time. Like, this is a couple years ago. I think it was prior to This Is Us happening. It had to have been. And because then I saw the cover of a TV guide, like a TV guide magazine, little pocket ones, and the
yep.
cover on it was a face I remembered. It was Justin Hartley, and he was doing a soap opera. So I was like, "Oh no, dude, what happened to my dude? Like, he's
Right.
doing soaps now?" Because that's when like, your career's kinda over if you're doing
Right.
soaps
You're
now.
once you're in soap
It's
operas, you're
either
kind of
your
stuck.
career is either starting or ending if
Yeah.
you're on soaps.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh no, like, I hope he's okay." Like, and then
There,
sure enough, he's in This Is Us now, and he's good. It's great. Like,
there would be people though that say that the WB and the CW shows are not that far removed from soaps. Though, so
you wouldn't be
I would say
wrong.
that.
You wouldn't be wrong. And honestly, well, like, they might have a stigma to them, sure, but that is a guaranteed paycheck that you could get for like 30 fucking years if your character is
yeah,
well liked. So it's like
yeah,
any one of us would love to be on a soap, but like,
Oh hell
sure,
yeah!
but
yeah,
yeah, the
definitely.
stigma is obviously like you said, your career is starting or it's fucking done, and like that's just
Right.
your life now. So it was
Like, you're
good to
just
see.
doing soap operas.
Yeah, like it was good to see him get back into the mainstream there because I like him. I think
And
he's good.
I'm not in any way diminishing. I'm just commenting on the public perception
Yeah,
of
it's
what
the
those shows are.
stigma. Exactly.
The stig exactly like you said, the stigma. I'm not. I personally love the shows. I watch every CW. I used to watch almost every WB show, and I watch every CW show just about. Especially the ones that deal with superheroes. So I'm not in any way, shape, or form bashing them. I love them. So.
Oh yeah, it
But
is what it
I've
is,
also
man.
watched soaps in the past, so,
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
it is
back in the
it is
day,
what
that's
it
like
is.
all that was on during like, morning
Daytime
time
TV.
TV. Yeah, dude. And
Yep,
especially if you
yep.
ever had to go to the doctor or the hospital, that's like
Oh,
all that was
yeah.
Oh,
ever
dude.
on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was crazy. But I mean, it's just like the old stigma of like TV actors like could never be big screen actors, and like that's completely changed now too. Like
Oh yeah.
now you have big screen actors specifically doing TV series, and
Yeah.
like the world of streaming and all that shit. You can just have your own mini series out there and make a shit ton of money. Like especially with
Yeah.
Netflix, they'll pay you $1 million, like $300 million to come over and make something for them if you're a big name. So shit, it is what it is. In the end, though, I'm excited for the Smallville thing. I'm just really curious as to what they're going to do with it. Is it going to continue the comics, be its own thing, 10 years later, a straight up reboot of everything? I don't think it'd be a reboot. I feel like now that they're actually in, this animated format, you can actually have Tom Welling in the Superman suit the whole time. You can introduce other characters like a Batman, a Green Lantern, and all this stuff. You can really kind of do whatever you want doing this in animated form. So it could be kind of a blessing to like Tom Welling in the Smallville verse because they really wouldn't have any limits at this point. I mean, there would really be like budgetary limits and constraints back when they were doing the show prior. So really, I am very intrigued as to where this could possibly go. So whatever you guys think, let us know down in the comment section below. Okay, guys. So our final topic is Among Us here. We're going to be talking the Bad Batch spoiler filled review here in discussion. Not necessarily going to be a play by play. We're going to talk about the things we liked and didn't like, whatever it may be. I can tell you up front, there's really nothing I didn't like about it. I thought this was a pretty good episode. I don't know if it was the best one, but it was up there. I think it was definitely if it was better than last week's or not, though. But either way, I thought it was great. I liked. Actually, I'll let Rick comment on it. He had some good. He had some good thoughts about the old Omega character here. So, Rick, I'm going to kick it over to you real quick. Let you. What did you think about it? You said some stuff about Omega, and I'll let you take it away with that. What did you think about this week's episode?
Well, Rob, first of all, thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me. No, what I thought was cool about it, one of the biggest things that they really did with this episode is throughout the episode and throughout the series, really, they've done a really good job at showing how Omega has kind of like honed her skills and become like a better fighter, whatever you want to call it. And throughout this episode especially, she used a lot of those skills to really kind of like get away, advance, whatever it is. And it's just like, it's not like that whole Ray Mary Sue thing where you're like, oh, she's just a girl who's just good at everything. Like, you see why she's good at what she does and how she gets better. And I thought they did a really good job with that. So that was kind of a cool thing. And I really I turned this episode off and I was like, I think I even said out loud, I was like, that was good. Like, and I'm not even a huge animated Star Wars fan, but like The Bad Batch just definitely roped me in.
Roped you in. You're liking everything you see here.
Yeah, yeah. Despite the animation, that was the biggest thing for me. Is the animation always took me out of Star Wars, where I'm like, oh, it's animated. Star Wars isn't animated, but like I don't really feel that way. Like I feel like I'm watching Star Wars.
It does feel very, and that's the thing too, I will say. For the longest time, I felt the very same way about like Clone Wars, Clone Wars. Like the animation for Clone Wars was not that. I hated the character designs, and like back then when the show first came out, like let's be honest, it really wasn't that good. It was PS2 looking shit. Like it really wasn't all that great.
It looked like PS2 cutscenes.
Yeah, and the writing was god awful. Like for the first 2-3 seasons. But then, man, once you get past those first 2 or 3 seasons, like, it starts to pick up in season 3, but by golly, come season 4, it is very intrinsically Star Wars, and it's great. Like, I love Clone
They really
Wars,
found
season
their
4.
own with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But with Bad Batch, ever since the first episode,
It's been like the best parts of Clone Wars, but like just right off the bat.
yeah, man, it's been great. There's been like the animation is top notch. Everything looks
Oh
like
yeah, like the
real.
environments.
Yeah, the environments look good. Even the character models,
Like
even
that looks like it's straight out of Clone Wars, like the movie, right?
yeah,
there,
like
or Attack of the
everything
Clones.
looks fantastic. Like I love just the aesthetic. I love one thing too that like I really got to give him props for, and you can really see it in like Lama Su. I'm trying to get a good shot of him here. Like you see how you can. It's much easier to see in like the up close shots, but like the way they draw all the characters, they have like these brush strokes on them. Like it looks like they were painted. I just really like the aesthetic of it. I think it looks really good. Like it gives them like texture. It's really hard. Like, you can kind of see it on like him a little bit. Like he looks painted in a way.
But yeah,
Like you can kind of see it.
You
on,
can look
like,
it on Tech's forehead.
Yeah, on Tech's forehead. There it looked like he had like brush strokes. Like it literally looks like he was a.
There's
painted
depth
character.
to it and texture.
Yeah, it adds a ton of texture. It looks really good. Like you see, like right there is perfect. Like, you see right there, like he just like it. And they do it on all the characters. It's like it's not just something on like him or anything. Like
No.
it looks really good. Like it adds depth and everything.
And how
It's really
cool
good.
is like Cad Bane as a character? Like they're just like the straight up Clint Eastwood Western gunslinger. Like just
Cad
it's like
Bane's
what he
cool,
is.
man.
Yeah,
Like,
I like Cad Bane.
I was never a big fan of Cad Bane. Like, everyone like loved Cad Bane, like for the Clone Wars stuff, and like he was in like 3 episodes of Clone Wars, dude. Like
Yeah.
maybe 6.
He's the guy who put the dent on Boba Fett's helmet.
I'm thinking we're gonna see that in Bad Batch.
Yeah, because there was that cut animation scene that never made it to the show.
Yeah, I'm 100% thinking we're gonna be seeing. Like, look at that shot.
I was expecting, and I would expect Boba Fett to show up somewhere in these later episodes.
See, I thought maybe.
Just every bounty hunter shit.
I thought just maybe there for a second that Fennec was already working with Boba, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's how like she would go back to him and be like, yeah, how to run in with Cad Bane, and then that would set Boba in
Off
motion.
to Cad Bane.
Exactly, something like that, maybe. I don't know. Like, there's been no indication technically that in like Mando or anything that they knew each other prior. They kind of implied that that was their first meeting because she like commented on like, Boba Fett like saved me from the desert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that was like it was kind of implied that was their first meeting, but who knows?
I like Toto too, his little droid. Like he's sassy and just funny and
Yeah. Look at that shot though, dude.
Yeah, that looks great.
It looks it looks so good, dude. It looks so good. But yeah, then we got our first look at Fennec. That was the thing too. We now know that Fennec was hired by the one Kamonian who like wants to save Omega.
Yeah, the
Like
one who's looking out for her.
yeah, I can't remember her name, but
Not Lama Sue.
it's not Lama Sue,
The one with
the
the red.
girl one, yeah. But she's the one who was like really close to Omega in the earlier episodes, and like so she has hired Fennec to get her and like
She doesn't want
save her.
Terminator like
Yeah.
the other ones were saying.
Exactly, 'cause that was
Kaminoans were like Terminator.
exactly, because that's what we learned here, like why Omega is important, because she's essentially the only being in existence right now that shares a 1-to-1 ratio of genetic code via Jango Fett.
Yeah, she's
So
a
there's only
female Boba Fett.
yeah, she is
basically.
literally a female version of Boba Fett. So like she's like other than Boba, there's no one else in existence that shares or holds, I guess, as
And you
much
know-
Django genetic material as her.
You know, Boba ain't giving up that DNA easily either.
Oh no, that's yeah, and honestly, I think they may think he's presumed dead at this point.
Probably.
Like, cause they
They haven't even mentioned him.
yeah, they haven't mentioned him. They would have realistically no idea that he's like out there being this bounty hunter.
No, they did
Like-
mention him in this episode. They said like Boba Fett, Alpha.
Oh
then
yeah,
he changed
yeah,
to
but
Boba Fett. But
yeah, otherwise known as Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Like, but
AKA.
they knew that Django called him Boba. That didn't imply that they know he's still alive.
No,
is my
he was more or less just like off the cuff, just like mentioned.
Yeah, because like yeah, so we now know that her name is Omega, and they call Boba Alpha, like Alpha and Omega. So
Yeah.
Boba was the first, the Alpha, and this is the Omega of Django's DNA. That's what it is. So that's why Lama Su wants her to be captured to harvest her genetic material for these new stage 3 clones. So let me just say I told you so to all those people out there who were like, she's got to be force sensitive. I'll tell you what. Like, no, she's not.
No.
She's not. If they went the force sensitive route, it would just be like a whole other like Rey Mary Sue.
It really would.
That's
yeah,
all it would be. Because then,
I really
like-
hope they don't do that.
yeah, well, 'cause it would completely like. It wouldn't necessarily completely negate it, but everything that you said off the top here, where it's like they show her learning all these things from the Bad Batch people, and then her using that knowledge to like enhance her own skills and everything. But the moment you introduce that she's force sensitive, that all gets thrown out the window, and it's just like, oh, she did it because she's force sensitive. That's why.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, man, like, but yeah. Other than that, do you think we're gonna be seeing like Cad Bane again?
I don't know. He got his ass kind of handed to him by Fennec, but I think we'll see her again because she was basically helping Omega in this episode. Like you could even like just tell in the way she was talking to her and all that she definitely wasn't like out to get her. I
Well,
guess you
that's
could say.
because she's hired by that other Kamonian who
Well, her loyalty is wherever the money's at. so-
exactly. And but she knew that like this I don't know her name, but this Kamonian or whatever wanted her captured safely, like for safe purposes. So
Yeah.
that's why like she wasn't lying to Omega when she was like, I'm on your side here. I'm trying to save you. Like literally I was hired to do it.
Cad
sure,
Bane's sending
but-
her to get killed, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Go get her DNA and kill her.
And that's why, like, at the end of this exchange here, she just said, like, nah, just leave her be. She's safe where she is now, and I know that, so you're good. You're done. We don't need you anymore. Like, not in, like, a negative way. It's just, like, you know, like, she's no longer wanting Fennec to hunt down Omega because she now knows that Omega is safe with the Bad Batch.
Right.
So,
They're
like, she's
keeping her
cool
safe.
with it. Yeah, like, and that's all she wanted. And she's still paying Fennec. So, like, they're all Gucci.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
It really is just like Fennec out of the Mandalorian too. It's crazy.
yeah, I mean they did a good job making that's what I'm talking about too with like the character models. Like they just everything looks so much better. Like and you can tell that looks like Ming Na. Like it's just like exact I mean it's her doing the voice and it looks just
Yeah,
like
it
her.
just doesn't take you out of the show at all. You're like,
Yeah.
that's her.
It's like that's
whatever.
Fennec for sure. So John, I know you're a couple episodes behind here, so why don't you just fill us in on what you're thinking of Bad Batch for now. But first, I do have to say, let me make sure there's nothing on here. I'm gonna have something new in the collection soon here.
Oh, you got it?
I want it. I want it
No
focused. Look
shit.
at that. $224. Pretty good price.
That's a really
Nice.
good deal.
Pretty damn good price. Less than retail. It retailed for $242, I think, or $246. There it is. Like, I told you I was gonna get
Nice.
that thing. Didn't think I would, but there it was. What do you think, John? What's your thoughts here? That's not John.
Hey.
Yeah, no. I've enjoyed the series. It's one of those things like I'm not very good at like doing other stuff while I'm watching these shows because I feel like I missed too much. So like I want to be able to focus on it because I've tried to start it a couple times like while I'm working on stuff like trying to do dishes or doing stuff around the house and stuff, and I feel like I just missed too much. I end up spending like an hour watching an episode and going back because I'm going back to rewind and restart parts. So but I've really enjoyed what I've watched so far. There was something that you guys were talking about though, um, with her being the female Boba Fett. Do you guys think that I mean that's a revelation to me. Like I knew she had to have some sort of Django genetic material and whatever, and I didn't realize how close it was or whatever. With her being a kid, do you think that there's a possibility that she shows up later on? Have we talked about this already? That she'll show up in like the Book of Boba Fett, or she'll show up in one of the live action series that we're following in the Star Wars universe?
I had never really considered it, but it's definitely possible.
I mean, because for all intents and purposes, she's Boba's sister, more or less, right?
Yeah, and that's why I think we might see that whole Cad Bane Boba Fett showdown, because I think if Boba finds out that he's got a sister and Cad Bane's hunting her, that's an easy conflict there, and they could finally do the whole that's where he gets the dent in the helmet kind of thing, and like have that whole thing and have that.
Maybe they saved it on purpose for that. Yeah.
Yeah. The only
how old is Boba at this time?
At this time, like 20s, probably.
Late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I thought he was still pretty young because he's only what, like 12, 13 when his dad gets his head lopped off in Clone War.
Yeah, and then this is after how long after it's right after. Well, I don't know how far they jumped after Order 66. I'm assuming it's pretty close after that. Like, because I mean, Order 66, you see it happen in the first episode.
Yeah.
But you don't really know exactly how long it's been since. Like, has it been 6 months in this whole period, or has it been 6 days? Like,
right?
Who really knows? I think it's safe to say it hasn't been a year since then. I would say this is in the first year of that still at that time.
Yeah.
So
he could still be in his teens, he might be, or so.
Yeah, 15-ish.
Which means they're not that far apart in age. So
yeah,
that
is true.
Okay.
In my mind, I was thinking that Boba would have been older by now, but like that makes more sense now that I'm thinking about it. Like, he probably would maybe be around 15.
Yeah, I would say.
Well, how long was in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith? That's the real question.
Because a couple years.
Yeah.
I mean, Anakin goes from being
Padawan to
because I think the Clone Wars was 6 years long. If I don't know why that's just what I'm thinking. I think the Clone Wars lasted 6 years. Let me look it up. How long was
So yeah, I mean that would be interesting to see, because we've already seen it with Ahsoka, right? Where you get a character that started in the animated series and then is brought over into the live action with a good deal of success. So it would be interesting if they try and do that with Omega or any of these Bad Batch characters.
Yeah. Like, the only thing I would think of that would maybe not, that would withhold that from happening, is just that if Bad Batch isn't over yet, then
what are they giving away about Bad Batch by having the character show up? Sure.
Yeah, that'd be the only. But at the same time, they never care about an animated show versus a live action show. They're gonna do whatever they want in the live action show, and the animated show is just gonna have to follow suit. So, and Dave Filoni's a part of both. So, like, realistically speaking, like, it's not
If
like
he
they
wants
would
to
be
juggle,
if he wants to jump and do it, it'd be fine. It would fit
if
in.
yeah,
He
if he
knows what
wants to
he's doing.
juggle it, yeah, there's
They,
not
they
probably not a better
yeah.
person to be doing it.
Exactly. So Clone Wars lasted 3 years, so yeah, Boba would probably be like 15, 16 at this point.
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
so.
Like maybe 17, but like that might be pushing
Yeah.
it. Like I don't know. So I would mean 15 would be my guess. Like
Yeah.
Okay.
so yeah. 'Cause I'd say Omega's around 15 or 16 too. I don't think they're trying to make her out to be super duper young. Like
No, I'd say
she
she's.
knows
I
what's
would have
up.
guessed like 14.
Yeah, because I mean she's like
Yeah.
fighting people and shooting bow and she's really smart. Like she's gotta at least be like 15-ish. So, and
Mhm.
it would make sense for her to be the same age
As
as
Boba
Boba.
Fett, yeah.
Like in all reality, like if they're saying that there's only two beings that have the same like 1-to-1 ratio of genetic material, like they would have had to have been made around the same time, you would think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It would be interesting to see if Boba finds out about that though, for sure. Maybe like he's hanging out with some other like
Or
bounty
a
hunter or
Sting.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
like some weird stuff like that. Who knows? I'm curious. We'll just have to wait and see, though. I'm hoping, still hoping. My only complaint with this show is like, what's the overall plot, man? Like, because we just keep bouncing around the stuff. Like now, it's like Omega gets kidnapped, so that's 2 episodes worth of stuff, but it doesn't really do anything to like tell you like what they're focusing on. Still, like, is it gonna just be the Omega, like keeping her safe? Is that all the show's gonna be about?
Right.
Or is it gonna be about Crosshair and trying to get him back? And is it gonna be about the Empire, like, rising? Like, it's got the I'm not complaining. I just like all of these things, so I just wish I knew where it was going. Like,
Right.
I just
Yeah.
wanna know, like, is it just leading up to Omega, like, dying and then the show's over? Like, you know what I mean? Because like, there's no other plot line that we know of that is taking precedence, you know what I mean? Like, so,
Right.
I don't know.
It is there any character that we've met in the post Star Wars? I don't know. I don't know how to define each era, but in the post Mandalorian world, is there any character we've met that we don't know the identity of, that it could be Omega hiding underneath?
I don't think so.
Not that I'm
Okay.
thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only connection I could see her having anything to would maybe be that like that doctor dude with the glasses who like
Dr.
obviously
Pershing.
yeah, who would obviously worked on Camino in some capacity and who's
Yeah.
been the only other humanoid that we've seen there that wasn't a clone. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's the thing, like Omega knows a lot about the cloning process, but she is a clone, so I mean it kind of throws the similarities out the window, but so, like, the Dr. Kershing dude or whoever is the only human we've ever seen who has had the cloning facility markings on his outfit.
Right.
Everyone else has been a Caminoan. So, I don't know. I would
Okay.
say no, I don't but there's always something they could throw in, you know? Like,
Sure.
so who knows? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Alright, but I feel like, you guys anything else you wanna add? I feel like it's a good place to wrap it
I think
up.
we covered it.
Alright, well, Rick, where can everybody find you online, sir?
Follow me over on Instagram at Sir Rick Metz.
Alright, John, where can everybody find you online?
Instagram and Twitters at Nightwing_K.
All right, you can follow me simply here at Sir Rob Bifo. And again, guys, do not forget that's Twitter, Instagram, whatever. This is all there. Same thing. But don't forget, you can submit topics and questions to the show just by emailing us here at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. And then don't forget, as usual, starting next week. I think I said this last week, but shit happens.
Things happen.
Things happen. I mean, like I said, and like I said off the top, I started a new 9 to 5. It was my first week. I had stuff to do, but the reviews will be coming back every Wednesday for the collectibles. So I don't know which one I'm going to do, but stay tuned for another hot toy review coming this Wednesday. The last one I did was the deluxe Jenner, so from Rogue One. So that's up there now. You can go take a look at that. And then lastly, We usually stream every Friday as well, sometime between 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. So come hang out with us there. We typically, now that Loki is having a Wednesday debut, we're going to be doing a live review of Loki every Friday during the stream as well. And then we obviously just kind of loosely talk Bad Batch since it had just came out. So we're normally always talking that, but then we'll play some games or whatever. So yeah, coming out this then. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and that really helped out the channel and all that stuff. But that's pretty much it. Until next time, guys, take care.